So in this video, I'm going to attempt to explain how I feel about the first 22 years of my life, before I was out of the closet and before I knew I have dissociative identity disorder, and just like how I kind of feel about that period of my life. I'm 26 now, so I feel like I've had real choice and autonomy over the direction of my life and where I'm going to take my life and other things for at least 4 years. I've also been doing witchcraft for 6 years, but only been open about it since New Year's of 2023. I would say that for the first 22 years of my life, I kind of feel like I was an instrument in the hands of someone else, and like I also sort of feel like I was like a doll or a puppet or a robot. I sort of feel um, like I was a vessel rather than really a full person, is how I sort of view it. And it sort of feels like how I feel about it is, it was just like everything I was not my own. And now that I'm out of the closet, ever since 22, and ever since being disowned, and ever since like being diagnosed with dissociative identity disorder and PTSD, which I will also say, and I'm fine saying this, that before I knew I had DID, I was just saying that I'm a possessed wizard. So before I knew about dissociative identity disorder, the way I viewed it is, oh, I'm just a possessed wizard. But no, I'm a witch and a sorcerer, and I also have DID. And now I understand that, since I have that lens for my experiences now. But there was a time when I didn't know what that was. And so how could I know I was it if I didn't know what it was? But essentially it just kind of seems like, for me, that when I was younger, it seems like I was like in a cage, and it's like my body was the cage, my environment was the cage, my father was the cage, my mind was the cage. Everything was felt like I was constricted and tied up and bound, and like I didn't feel like I really had autonomy over my life or existence. And then after being disowned, a couple months after coming out of as trans, it's like, even though it was really, really painful and hard, every month got a little bit easier since then. And even though we still face traumatic events, such as on June 17th, this Pride Month, having gotten hate crimed by two teenagers who threw rocks and sticks at us, and one pulled a knife on us, and that was horrific that happened to us this month. But even though traumatic things like that still happen to us, it's not made worse by the presence of an abusive father, because in the past, when we still had contact with our father, he made everything else, like if something like that had happened to us, he made it worse every single time. He made it worse, and did not value our safety, and did not value our well-being, and did not really value our life beyond what we could give to him, and how we could boost his image, and how we could serve him and his ego. And now being able to like live on our own terms as an autonomous human being that has some degree of like choice, even if we live in the USA, which is currently threatening the civil rights of people like me, even in a safe state. I mean, it's still better than it was when that man was in my life. And that's my thoughts on that.